And the day after taking delivery of those O-Block chains, Von would be back on Instagram teasing new music. But Von wouldn't avoid the topic for long. As the days go by, him and his team would lean into social media, getting more and more used to the fans constantly bringing up the killing of Duck. A couple days later, Von was on IG Live with DQ in a store, unable to help himself but mock the ops just a little bit, telling his IG Lives that there ain't no more FBG.
All that dissing or saying something, or even acting like y'all with it that y'all know for sure ain't with, I'ma smack on y'all, I ain't gonna play like that. See, and we know y'all ain't gangsta, y'all on the internet. We know y'all ain't gangsta, y'all ain't trying to do that. Ain't no more FB. Ain't that right, Big DQ? Ain't that right?
Y'all already know that, Kodak.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Goofy as hell.
A couple of days after that, Von is on O-Block, with Gleesh telling the ops to pull up.
Tell her what we doing today, Gleesh. We on the block.
Get it on, we on the block, look. Pull up, y'all know when he come out. Fucking move, we pull up in a lot. On BD, just pull up in a lot.
2 days later, August the 22nd, an O-Block Woney goes live saying that he's smoking on Duck and telling his viewers that you can get hit anywhere, any place, and that they're still dangerous.
I smoked the wood to the duck. Smoked the wood to the duck, you know? It can happen to you. You could die. Whatever can happen, like, you know, anywhere, you know, like, it could just happen, like, you know. We dangerous, like, we pull up on you and shit, like, you know. Like your taco. I'm on house arrest. But this can happen, like, it can happen, like, whenever, wherever. She thinks somewhere in traffic.
The day after that, Kenny Mac posts up on Instagram a picture with C-Murder saying that they're killers, and a few days later on August the 28th, C-Thang would go live to an audience of around 10 people, quickly getting spooked by the fact that the only people that showed up were fans saying that he killed Duck. But one of the most famous incidents of self-snitching in this story would surface on August the 31st, 2020, when an interview is released with Bosstop from O-Block speaking on camera. This interview is him surrounded by members on the block, speaking about what things were like before the fame and discussing his relationships with King Von and Lil Durk. Thing is, if you're going to take a vlogger into a gang stronghold, you might want to be a bit more careful about what you say and where you say it, because this interview with Bosstop contained a number of very incriminating details. First thing they do is walk onto the block telling the camera that their homies are smoking brick and Duck.
We got phone rolling up brick over there, phone rolling up brick over there, phone putting the Duck out right there. Oh, we got a lot of
Hell, if you look at the comments on this video, you will see that there is a bunch of people pointing out the fact that there is a car the same model as the one that was used in the murder of FBG Duck parked right next to them. Sure, it could be a coincidence, but it does make you wonder why only less than a month after a gangland murder in the middle of a busy street that these guys are inviting vloggers to their block to record them. And so it was in this very interview that Bosstop from O-Block would post up in front of the camera telling the vlogger that he is willing to answer anything. Anything, you say?
The next question was going to ask me. I'm asking any question.
Any question? Any question?
I'm asking it.
Well, naturally, he is eventually asked about FBG Duck, and his answer is really something. Bosstop immediately says that Duck shouldn't have dissed their dead homie T-Roy, before catching himself and then shutting up.
FBG Duck, you know, any thoughts on him? Like, did you know him?
Who Duck?
Did you know him before, like everything?
Duck like that. I don't know. On game. All I know, don't say that about Troy or rest in peace, Duck.
But if that wasn't enough, a flustered Bosstop then redirects the camera's attention to the hitters standing behind them, one of whom does a nose-wiping motion.
Okay, he's like, you got anything about FBG Duck? It's, you know what I'm saying? You know, don't say about Troy. That's it. About Troy. Get that guy over there. Whatever, you know me. Come on, man, don't do that. Don't do that. You know I know that. Stop playing. Stop playing. Don't do that. Stop playing. Talk to somebody else today.
Bosstop would then go on to call his O-Block chain a trophy.
This ain't no motherfucking chain. This like, it's like a trophy to this our brother, you know? This more than the chain. It's way more than the chain. It's our lifestyle.
Now, this most incriminating section of the interview was removed from that video around a year before the arrests took place, but that particular clip was captured and still circulates to this day. And even though that part's edited out, all of the original comments remain, with many long before the arrests, pointing out that Bosstop indeed did point directly at one of Duck's shooters. But it would be unfair for Bosstop to take the blame for all of the self-snitching, because as the days go by, O-Block members continue to appear on camera and on social media, leaking incriminating info that appeared to tie them to the crime. On September the 2nd, point, Big Wony goes live on Instagram once again, this time arguing with one of FBG Duck's friends, FBG Measle, with Wony bragging that they can't diss O-Block because O-Block killed their ops.
Why diss niggas that's killing y'all? Nah, my homies stood over your homies. It's different.
Folks that get stood over.
Who?
Go. Red. You keep mentioning, motherfucker, keep mentioning Duck name, Brick name.
Duck, what the fuck? I'm finna grab the Duck joints. I don't want to that come out.
The day after that, C-Thang and Big Wony are seen on IG Live again, this time showing themselves on FaceTime with fellow accused murderer and drill musician from Jacksonville, Queso.
Hey,
man.
Hey, for who you smoking on, man? I'm on live right now, man. Who you smoking on, man? Who you smoking on from the rack, man? What'd you say? What'd you say? They can't hear you, folk.
Duck.
Duck. You smoking that duck. Quack, quack. Duck, quack, quack. You say you smoking that duck, my boy Queso smoking that duck, baby.
Yeah, so that was Queso from Jacksonville saying that he's smoking on Duck too. It's really crazy to see how Wony and C-Thang just could not resist the clout that was on offer in that moment. They were on a phone call with another killer and they just couldn't help but brag about the killings that they had done themselves. They truly wanted the whole world, state to state, to know that they killed Duck. Only a few days after that, King Von is seen on IG Live doing a goddamn impression of FBG Duck.
You finna say, it's a real party you cannot get in, busting out the zins, rolling up the means. I can shake your hand. No, I'm not your friend. Let me hear that boy like that. Let me go. Weak.
No. It's a gangster party in this belly and this bitch made it out the trenches.
But once King Von whatever he was saying. Said what he said.
You did your push-up this morning?
No.
But it wasn't just the O-Blockians going live, because on September the 10th, FBG Measle goes live himself. Of course, the comments are immediately crammed with people dissing Duck, and Measle begins to respond by dissing deceased O-Block members like HK and T-Roy.
Hey. Troy, suck my dick, Troy.
At a certain point, Measle throws on FBG Duck's mad disrespectful anthem Dead Bitches and continues to diss his ops.
Big Cloud went to nowhere. The old T-Roy, Baldy, all Troy. I'm Measle. We stay smoking Troy little ass. On phone him his little ass. Got smoked that big ass shirt off.
But here's where things get a little strange. Because at a certain point, an account that appears to belong to Zell Munna, an alleged relative of HK and T-Roy, begins commenting on this live asking where Measle is. But here's the thing. It was unclear whether or not this was really Zell Munna from O-Block, because his official Instagram page had an underscore rather than a full stop. In fact, even the real Zell with the underscore under his name chimed in to try and let everybody know that there was a fake account impersonating him commenting on this page. And it does make you wonder, who was the fake Zell with the full stop in their name? Was it really just Zell on a burner account trolling? Could it be one of the ops trying to draw Zell out? Or could it be the feds trying to seed information that they already knew? Well, perhaps we'll never know. But what happened next is crazy, because this fake Zell account with a full stop in the name posts a flurry of comments on Measle's live, seemingly taking full responsibility for the murder of Duck. One comment says, Duck, we won. Measle, seemingly unaware that this is a potentially fake account commenting, begins to say that he's gonna beat Zell's ass.
Hey Zell, shorty, I will beat your ass so I dare you up.
But from here, the fake Zell with a full stop in his name releases a barrage of comments, saying ask Duck about us, followed by duck emojis. He says ask Duck about that FN, which is a manufacturer of guns. He says Duck couldn't take that FN. He then says ask your homie about them blue tips, which is referring to a type of bullet that the FN guns take, going on to say that the entire op block is dead. And at a certain point, people begin to comment saying that Zell is losing his mind and that he should know better than comment these things. Other accounts clock onto the fact that this is a fake Zell commenting, but at a certain point, other fake accounts begin to pop up in the comments impersonating other O-Block members saying incriminating things. Things like C-Murder is going to kill Measle. Clearly Measle doesn't get the message about all the fake ops that are in his comments, and he begins to diss Zell once again.
T-Roy, you don't do them dead bitches. Hey boy, Zell Munna, boy. You a bitch, boy. You a hoe, boy. You steady taking pictures in the O.
From here, a whole bunch of similar fake accounts impersonating O-Block members not even very well begin to appear, including this one with the literal name Real O-Block Member 600, an account that no longer exists on Instagram. This account would extensively diss Duck too, and beginning to ask for Measle's location, just like the fake Zell account did at the start. At this point, people begin to speculate in the comments that all these fake accounts had been made by the real Zell, who was just trying to cover his tracks. Ducks. And from here, more accounts pop up asking very police-like questions, even referring to FBG Duck by his government name. From here, people begin to comment that the feds are active in the chat, and eventually the live ends, leaving me with a whole lot of questions. Now, we're probably never going to know who was really behind some of the comments on this live, but let's just imagine for a minute that none of them were the real Zell. Just imagine how scary that would be if you were involved in a murder that everybody knew you did, and people were literally online pretending to be you, boasting about that murder in a way that's so convincing your ops can't really tell the difference. I mean, that must have been truly terrifying for Zell. A few days after this, BJ, DQ, and Zell go live on O-Block, and one of the top comments on this says that these guys are dropping new clues about this murder on a daily basis. But it was on September the 16th, 2020 that things got really silly, as King Von himself begins to tweet publicly suggesting that him and FBG Duck had a song together, telling his followers on Twitter that they had settled their differences before he passed, which was a little bit hard to believe considering their history. Also, around the same time, Von had been spotted commenting on IG, calling famous Dex a homophobic slur in response to Dex saying that he was emotional about Duck's passing. Frankly, I didn't believe a word of Von's tweets, and I don't think you should either. But it really just seemed like Von was having a good time without a care in the world, assuming that he or his team would never be implicated in the murder of Duck. In fact, during this period, Von and his team were having a great time, with Von flying out several O-Block members to Atlanta to hang out with him and enjoy his success. Whilst in Atlanta, Moowop and C Murder were seen filming a music video with Von, ironically in a fake jailhouse setup.
How you looking, boy? They talking about murder, whole ass. The big low on here, he say your whole ass.
What? He want y'all to hoop real quick.
See, Murder got boys. Come on, Moowop, man. Go on here, Moowop.
BJ is also seen hanging out with Von and other members in Atlanta, and in one spectacular display of self-snitching, Von goes live whilst getting off of a plane with Moowop, where he openly tells a fan that Moowop has loads of bodies.
This Moowop, he crazy. He got all type of bodies. No, just play. Come on, Moowop. My mom, come on. My bodyguard. Come on, bodyguard.
Meanwhile, back on O-Block, after that Bosstop interview where he quite literally pointed at C-Thang after saying that Duck was murdered for dissing T-Roy, C-Thang would continue to go live on IG. And of course, everybody is in his comments saying that Bosstop spilled the beans about O-Block killing Duck and letting him know personally that the feds do know that C-Thang was involved. In fact, at one point when responding to a fan who asked who was on the block, C-Thang slips up and nearly says all of the killers, quickly correcting himself and saying members.
All the members.
He would go on to deny ever knowing Duck.
What you think about Duck? I don't know. I ain't know him.
And later, he would say that he has a song coming that is no cap, meaning that the song contains no lies and everything that he says on it is true.
Ain't no cap in that shit neither, boy.
Now, despite not getting arrested, these guys would be fools to think that the feds weren't at least paying some attention. And so, on October the 7th, 2020, the FBI are seen patrolling through O-Block, with C Murder himself deciding to film them.
Oh my mama, bro. Oh my mama, they on the block, Scud. They on the motherfucking block, Scud. What the fuck? Is they coming to my car? Don't come to my car. Oh yeah, that's DA FBI on Dave. And here come motherfucking Parkway security telling on everybody.
In fact, C Murder actually recorded the FBI walking through O-Block whilst yelling brick.
Fuck brick. I got you.
Hold that motherfucker.
Whatever say.
Hold that
Damn.
Boy, let us see that thing, boy.
So it's clear that the feds are at least surveilling O-Block, but no arrests have been made at this point. But funnily enough, King Von seems to have his own surveillance crew in O-Block, a camera crew following him around and making documentaries about him and his crew as his career continues to rise.
I go back to Parkway. You know, I see all my old, friends, all the guys out there. All the guys' mamas and shit. Go see everybody like.
And away from the cameras in the music, King Von would continue to diss FBG Duck at every single opportunity. His October release, Welcome to O-Block, contained numerous disses aimed at Duck, and while on a press run for this new release, Von would even check in with DJ Academics for an on-the-phone interview. And it was in this interview where DJ Academics presses King Von about his earlier tweets, suggesting that Von was lying when he said that him and Duck had squashed their beef, with Von denying that he died, suggesting that somebody had deleted the DMs between them.
You know you and Duck didn't make up. His mom came out. They said you and Duck.
Gang, how you gonna tell? See that this ain't right. Gang, how y'all gonna say
his mom said that would never happen.
His mama was not there. I ain't never met his mama. I don't know his mama. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking to him. You see what I'm saying? And then they deleted all our DMs, so I can't show them the...
Now, from here, a flustered Von tries to sidestep his past beef with Duck, saying that they just went to school together.
It ain't. They just make it look real crazy to y'all. These just really people we all went to school with.
This do look crazy to me. I kid you not.
That's how they make it. But then,
like, yo,
you gotta understand, like you said, they right there down the street. We went to school. It ain't that serious, you know. And then, you know, it's just that we ain't cool no more. It was, you know, but it ain't that serious. Like, it's to the point where let's talk about it. It ain't. Both of us rapping, we can figure something out. We need to stop the shit, all the violence, all that shit. We got a voice, you see what I'm saying? Like, we tell Chicago far back, tell Chicago far back.
And eventually, Academics asks Von how he felt when he found out about Duck's death. And at this point, I kid you not, King Von begins to slowly eat cereal out of the box, telling Academics that he was hurt by Duck's death in an incredibly unconvincing manner.
Were you saddened by the news that he was murdered then?
Man, I heard. I didn't go to sleep at night. I couldn't believe that.
At this point, King Von couldn't even continue keeping a straight face. So he tells Academics to hold on and points the camera away from his face, when for a moment we hear what sounds like King Von and his homie BJ just straight up sniggering and laughing. And even when Von gets his composure and comes back on camera, he slips up because for a very brief moment we see BJ in the back of the car laughing uncontrollably.
Can't believe that. Hold on, man. Oh, let's talk about some shit.
Not a great look, guys. Not a great look. But in the end, none of that would really matter, because no one could have expected what would happen next. As King Von, the chosen one, the head honcho of his crew of fearless hitters, would end up being let down by his crew and himself, losing his life in the streets, but in a whole different state. Weirdly, for reasons completely unrelated to this long, bloody war.